What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Morning Edition. I am your host with my co-host, of course. It's meteorologist Ted Payton, morning anchors Annie Satowski, Savannah Rudisell, and we are so glad to have you as we jump into some discussions this morning. Now, the first topic I want to talk about is an actress by the name of Tilly Norwood, which has the entire Hollywood community up in arms. Why? Because she's not actually real. She's actually an AI-generated performer.
Wow.
A synthetic actress, which is actually being pitched for roles and representation. There are actually agencies wanting to represent her as an actress. Can I say her or it?
I guess.
AI. Yeah. So the debate continues. They're talking about art, ethics, livelihoods, all at stake here. Ladies, what do you think?
Well, my first thought is she's stunning. And I guess that's part of the problem, right? Like a computer can create what is an aesthetically pleasing actor or actress, right? And that immediately draws you in. I think that she's gorgeous. I had no idea that this was AI, but I've seen this, of course, on social media. But this is the whole reason that we had that big Hollywood strike not too long ago, right? They wanted protections assured to them from studios that AI wouldn't be taking over their jobs. That was more of like script writing, right? For shows like SNL and a lot of our favorite shows like Stranger Things that are on Netflix. Like a lot of those things got delayed. But they were saying this is what they were afraid of. And now here we are. And now actors and actresses who maybe beforehand thought there's no way that there can be someone that is so lifelike and get across the message and get across feeling and emotions like I can. Well, Tilly's doing it. Yeah. I can't like hear in this audio how good of an actress she actually is, but the whole point of AI is that they learn. So if they're watching all of the greats, why can't they do it? So I don't know. I think it crosses some lines. Not a fan of it.
Yeah, there's so much conversation around creative integrity, right? Bringing in AI to do what is quite literally a human job of performing human emotion. But kind of to the counterpoint of that. Now, I'm with you, Annie. I don't really love this. I don't want AI to star in my favorite movies. But to the point of that, people saying this is a lack of creativity. This is bringing the emotion, the feeling out of it. If a director is sitting down with a programmer, right, talking about what they want that scene to look like, how they want those eyebrows, you know, to furrow at a certain scene, or what do we need to change in the coding in order to make her sound more excited? Is that also not art? Is that also not creation? Is that taking away from the creative drive and passion and the accomplishments of, say, the director, writer, or whoever it is that's coding and programming?
That does take creativity, and I know that for sure, because those are all the little things that you have to think about. It's more work for the director and the programmer, I guess, because if you could just say, like, Annie, you know, act like you're surprised at something. I know what surprise looks like, right? So yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely creative. I think it's amazing what AI can do. But from a performer standpoint, I'd be worried about it.
What's interesting, so the creator of Tilly was Particle 6, or the founder, I hope I don't butcher this name, Elaine van der Velden.
Great effort.
Exactly, right? I went slow. Had to get through it. Now, she's saying it's more of an extension and relating it to more of CGI. Like, look at the monster behind her, right? That would be CGI. So that kind of blurs the line between CGI characters and actual characters. For video game players, it's like NPCs or real players, right? The NPCs interact with you in the video game. So does this blur that line a little bit of looking at this as an extension, a CGI character that can then interact with the actual real actors and actresses in a movie? I don't know. But that's the case that Particle 6 and the creators of Tilly Norwood are making. You could imagine that SAG-AFTRA, they are not a fan of this at all, as well as a lot of actors and actresses in the business voicing their objections to Tilly.
Not to be too dramatic with this, but the difference between artificial humans versus artificial monsters, right, is humans. You know, I think in the statement, SAG-AFTRA was saying, like, creativity should be human-centric.
Yeah.
It's the humanity, right, of it. And then it does sound a little bit overboard, I suppose, or a little bit dramatic here, but that this is why we talk about this now at the beginning when it's first coming out, is let's look down the road at what this could do.
Is it at the beginning though? If you know what I mean? Like, I think
First actress.
Yeah, that's true. They've been thinking about it for a long time now. And I mean, and again, those people that went on strike, like they saw this coming. Maybe not in the actor. I guess actors and actresses saw it too. I think it's again, the technology is incredible. The only other thing that I would also worry about too is that if we keep creating people who like look objectively like perfect and attractive, what that kind of does for our humanity or our society's expectations of what people should look like.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Definitely a talker. Again, we cannot deny that this technology is absolutely incredible. But I think it'll be hard to tell who is a real actress. Maybe that's the giveaway, is that they are too perfect, right? Yeah. But again, you just have a programmer say, like, give them zits or like give them a scar, and then there you go. So I don't know, definitely a talker, and we'll have to kind of see where all that goes.
The perfect imperfections. What I like to think, and call me an optimist, right? We have a lot of the AI music out there that gets generated. I do think that the human expression of art is still unmatched when it comes to AI from what we've seen 100%. In every other medium. So, I mean, I would pose the question of, if this is a movie that comes out and Tilly is starring in it, how good is the acting, right? We see the clips. We don't hear the emotion, the quiver of the voices. And sure, AI could replicate that and the timing, but a lot of folks will say there's so much nuance into that. So my hope and expectation is that the cream still rises to the top. The top authenticity of the actors and actresses and the art that we see will still be that of the human expression. And I think it takes a human to express that as much as AI can replicate it. So we'll have to see how it pans out. But if the movie comes out, are you ladies watching it?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean, unless I get real bored and it's already on Netflix, like, but I'm not like buying a movie ticket and going to see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to those, AI cat videos that pop up on Instagram. That's
how we like our AI
consumption is.
Yeah. Well, no AI over here. All authentic. As we take a quick break with Morning Edition, we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back into Morning Edition. We're gonna make this not so quick. Just kidding. We are. So tomorrow is the album release, the latest one from Taylor Swift. They're talking about it in the studio. Ted and I are not Swifties. We respect her as an artist. We are not non-Swifties, but we are not going to go out and buy this or like go buy tickets to this concert. But who is a big Swiftie is Savannah Rudisell.
It's me.
And so my questions were, Savannah, like, please explain to us, like, why these are all such a big deal.
Everybody has their own reasons, right? And their own level of Swiftiness within the Swiftie community, if you will. And one of the reasons why I continue to support her as an artist and really appreciate the work that she puts out is, part of it is nostalgia. I feel like I grew up alongside her as her music changed and evolved. I felt like that was kind of growing kind of alongside my life. So I would draw parallels there. The second is just the work she does is really fantastic. Again, her it is good. Her songwriting abilities are widely regarded in the music industry by experts who know much more about it than I do as being very impressive. And then there's just the hype that fuels hype. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When someone is a big deal, they keep being a big deal just because there is so much around it. And I think one of the fun things, especially around album releases, like what we see tomorrow, is that Taylor Swift loves to put in Easter eggs, right?
Right. That's the thing that gets me every time. Like, everyone goes down these rabbit holes, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. It makes no sense if you don't like follow a lot of it or some of the conspiracy theory puzzles, right? And you're like, oh, okay. So on Apple Music, some letters are capitalized when you go through, the lyrics of her Reputation album.
Okay.
And they spell out a message.
It's like the Riddler from Batman.
It is. It's insane. And
I
love it.
Yeah.
So I am not someone who is going through song by song on Apple Music, finding the letters and looking at it. But I am someone who I will see it online and I'm like, oh, the Swifties found another message. So I'm more of a
You let them do the hard work and you just read about it, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair.
Yep.
That's fair. So like tell us about the release tomorrow.
Yeah, release tomorrow is very exciting. This is TS12, her 12th studio album. People have been wondering about it, waiting on it for a long time. This is going to be, well, a long time, I say that, as if we haven't been blessed with a new album every single year since 2019.
Impressive.
Yeah. I was going to say,
No
didn't she
kidding.
just put one out?
Just released. Take a look at these stats, right? All right. We had Lover in 2019, Folklore in 2020, followed very closely by Evermore in 2020, Fearless, Taylor's version in 2021, along with Red, Taylor's version, Midnights in 2022, Speak Now, Taylor's version, and 1989, Taylor's version in 2023, Tortured Poets Department in 2024, and The Life of a Showgirl coming out in 2025.
Wow.
Which one had Bad
It's
Blood?
working.
That was my
That's
jam.
Reputation, Ted.
Reputation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh, no, about me? Sorry.
It's just like a color theme for all of this too, right?
Yeah, it's a big orange theme. So that if you're not a Swiftie, that might be why you see a lot of people wearing orange, dressing up in orange, posting about orange things. Also accompanied with this release, there is a theater release as well. They're calling it the official release party, right? So for just this weekend, select theaters are going to be showing, it's about 90 minutes long. It's going to be the first music video, which is going to be The Fate of Ophelia. And you can see some of the album covers are very like Ophelia, Shakespearean theme.
Okay.
The image of her in the river. That's going to be the first music video. There's going to be behind the scenes footage, they say, lyric videos for some of the other songs. And then they said personal reflections, never before seen. So another insight like into Taylor's mind, I think. That's another thing that just keeps people going. It's like, how does she think of this?
It is incredible, I will say.
Yeah. I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get it. Well, because, I mean, for my comic book lovers out there, video game lovers out there, movie lovers out there, the Marvel comics, if you watch the Marvel movies, it's those Easter eggs. It's the gift of being a fan that you get. And it seems like Taylor's doing a really great job, an artistic job of, you don't just get the music, you don't just get the lyrics, but you get an experience from it. And that
really
I could see is what breeds the culture is like, you go through the lyrics. Because as a fan of music, my favorite artists, I want to read their lyrics to see what they mean.
Yeah.
But I don't see random capitalized letters that it's like I'm sitting there like decoding. I almost feel like you need like a translator to decode Taylor Swift's things.
Kind of.
And you mentioned, Savannah, like they'll be referenced from interviews 12 years ago and stuff. So it rewards the fan for sticking around, which just reinforces the act of being a fan in the first place. So I'm starting to get it here. I'm starting to get it.
It feels like she is someone who is intent to give back to the fans who have put a crazy amount of energy into her as an artist. And I think her as a performer. And where it gets a little odd, right, is her as a person. This is a human, right?
Yeah.
This is somebody who is truly, this is her job. However, I feel like the parasocial relationships around Taylor Swift is what a lot of people see. And they're like, you don't know this woman, right? You have no idea. She's never met you. You guys aren't friends. Why are you so invested? And part of that is because she puts so much effort into what is seemingly giving back to the fans. You could also make the argument, it's like, it's not giving back to the fans. Oh, she's putting a movie. That's more opportunities to make money.
Did she make like a box office record last year? She's not going to do it again this year.
It's possible.
What is this concert coming up even going to look like? If Eras was all the rhinestones, like Showgirl is like, I don't know if there are enough rhinestones in the world.
Maybe not. Maybe not. That's another fun thing too about this is like it's life of the showgirl. What can we expect from these lyrics? Is she going to talk about her life in the spotlight, which is something she's done very consistently, really since like her second album, is what it's like to be her and be famous and to feel this pressure, right? Or to grapple with the industry and people's image of you versus who you know your true self to be.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'll be looking for. In our track list, right, we got 12 songs coming out, the 12 albums.
I see what she did there.
Yeah. See,
good one, Ted.
Everything's intentional.
Am I 50 now? You picked up on a clue.
You picked up on a clue. Congratulations, you're in the club.
Ducked me in there.
We have another convert. Let's go. Welcome. I will make you a friendship bracelet after this, Ted. One thing people are really talking about too is one of the songs is called Father Figure, and it's got songwriting credits for George Michael. So the song that you might know, and it's like kind of like a little breakdown, like I don't really want to sing it for you. I'm not a great singer, but it's
That 1987 shit.
okay if I must. But it's like I will be your father, and yeah, that song, right?
Got it.
Like,
Yeah.
so we
That
think
was
that
good.
might be thank you. It might be sampled a little bit or
Ooh.
something like that. So again, it's just all these little hints where it's just enough to keep you interested, just enough to keep you kind of crazy, and
Just a little.
uh-huh.
All right.
I will say, really quick, per my research for all the vinyl heads out there,
Yeah.
apparently there's going to be a special Crowd is Your King vinyl edition with a poem from Swift included. So, you're welcome.
No shortage of things to buy.
Fantastic. All right, we're going to send it to a quick break. Savannah's going to dive even further into that album release tomorrow, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to this episode of Morning Edition. We are talking about one of our favorite things in the world. If you are on the morning show of any TV news organization, you cannot survive without coffee. Some people prefer energy drinks, but I think most of us here, like, we're coffee people, right? Like, there's no one. Julian has his coffee. Jason has his coffee.
I do my 1 cup a day.
Yeah, okay. I got 1 cup before I come in, and then I got my afternoon thing.
I'm a guzzler.
I digress. So she's a guzzle. We all have our favorite brands. So I am a Starbucks person. What about you guys before we get into this?
Oh, I go Harris Teeter brand.
Okay.
I'm not snobby about it.
Okay.
I'm not picky. I think I get like the Colombian mix at Costco, the big bag.
Ooh,
and I grind it up myself.
That is a good one. Okay, so we all have our preferences. A household name for 133 years has been Maxwell House. But in this latest marketing move, I thought this was permanent, and then I dove into it, and I'm like, okay, thank goodness. They're like, we're going to change our name to Maxwell Apartments, right? It's kind of to match more of the vibe of the country, I guess we'll say. Home ownership continues to be out of reach for a lot of people, and a lot of people are renting. There's nothing wrong with that, but if that's your dream and you feel like you can't do it, that's a whole other story and a deeper topic that we will dive into probably never on Morning Edition. But what do we think about this marketing move? So you get what, Savannah, you were saying, like, for $40 you get a year's worth of coffee?
Yeah, this rebrand comes with a promotion. And they say it's a lease. They call it a 12-month lease on the coffee, where for $40 you can get a year's worth of coffee, which the company claims could save some people up to $1,000 over the course of a year.
Wow. I like this.
It's kind of like one of those questions, like, would you rather have free groceries, free gas, free coffee for a year, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think what is the stats show that nearly a third of Americans rent rather than owning their homes, and at $40 for a year's worth of coffee, I think we would all agree that's not just a deal, that's a steal.
Yeah.
And yeah, the money that you can save, perhaps it's a little tongue in cheek, right? But they are doing this probably to help you save a little money, and $1,000 can go a long way. Tools and fews add up, as my barber always says. So, the rebrand began on September 29th, 2025, which was National Coffee Day. So
it's perfect. And this is really interesting at a time for a coffee brand to make this decision when coffee is like the most expensive that it's ever been because of importing the beans and all of that. So definitely interesting. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of silly. And also a deeper commentary about the state of home ownership in America and economic distress. We won't go into that. But I can, is it bad if I'm just like, that coffe's gross?
It's all preference, right? Coffee's all preference.
So
these are reflections of morning.
These are not of Next Door Media Group. And Annie's personal opinion, I can't remember the last time I've had it, but I am a coffee snob. I'm sorry, like, I don't need to go to Starbucks specifically and have like the mocha froca flappa lappa with shamalama ding dong. Like, I get my pumpkin spice cold brews because they're not that sweet. But like, if you're gonna have coffee, and like, it needs to be good coffee. There's nothing worse than bad coffee.
Yeah. Exactly. That moment, true, of like your first cup of coffee of the day,
the first sip of the day,
relying on it. It's like, you want something good, you want something consistent too, which is why I am a little surprised to see Maxwell House doing this again. First time they've done it in 133
That's
years.
A long
as
time.
A company, they're one of the most recognized coffee name brands. Interesting to see that they do something just a little bit different.
Well, to your point on the larger topic here, and there's a lot of financial advisors, the books that talk about how folks maybe I'm not judging you Starbucks goers, but if you're buying a cup of coffee at Starbucks every day, I remember I had a Starbucks gift card and I said, let me just get the normal coffee. Like, I'm not a coffee snob. I just give me the coffee black. I don't need cream sugar in it. I'll take it straight. It was like $3.50 or something.
What size did you get?
It was normal size.
Well, Ted, do you know the sizes at Starbucks?
Grande is the small. That's all I know.
No.
Grande's not the small?
No, that's the medium.
Educate me.
All right, so we go tall, grande, and venti. Venti is the big boy. You ordered a grande.
Why do they do this?
It's Italian. I don't make the rules. We got tall, grande, and venti.
Small, medium, large.
No, that's the appeal of Starbucks. You have to speak Starbucks. Savannah's got her thing. I've got my thing. Like Taylor Swift, coffee.
I mean, so much, Ted.
No, like
we love chatting with the girls. We're learning about Starbucks sizes and Taylor Swift.
I just like Julie and Jason come back.
I'm getting educated. No, I'm here for it.
You are, but it is expensive. I think I always used to, every morning after morning practice in college from our strength and conditioning, the girls and I would go to Starbucks, and I'd only just get like plain coffee and then like throw some milk in it. I think it was maybe two something. Now I don't know what it is, but I too have been surprised by the Starbucks order when I go. I'm like, I just got coffee.
Right.
That was $3 amount of dollars. So Ted, the next time you go, if you want to cut down, just get the tall.
Which sounds like a large to me.
No.
So does grande.
I don't know. Grande is big. It's also Spanish and Italian, like all of that. But needless to say, the Maxwell House, it's got people talking. So I think that people are going to jump on that deal.
Is there a limited amount? Because like $40.
I know. I'm going to need
I'm about to call the wife.
Okay.
Tell her we are drinking Maxwell
House. That's right.
But where does it all come at once? Like, where do you put it? And they say lease. Do you have to give it back?
Or do you get like just like a frequent flyer card where you're just like, hey, this is one's on Maxwell House? Like, maybe they ship it. So many things would still be decided.
It's one canister.
One canister.
That's what it is. Available on Amazon.
One canister that's a year's worth of coffee?
They must not know us.
They don't know us.
They don't know
us. Oh, sorry. 4 27.5 ounce canisters.
Oh, 4.
20. Yeah.
That ain't going to last a year.
Yeah.
Not for us.
Also, and if we're targeting renters, we don't have storage.
That's right. Where are you going to put it?
Someone didn't think this through. How do you make your coffee? Because I know when I have time, I get the electric kettle, right? Hear me out.
Boil the water.
212 degrees.
Oh, my goodness.
It's perfect temperature. Make sure you have the grind on the bottom of the French press. Pour it in there. Let it bubble.
Your voice got lower.
And then you pour the rest of it in there. You put the top on it. And then, actually, our very own Will Lewis taught me this trick. After about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, push the pump halfway down.
That's it.
Yeah, let it stew for another 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then complete the press.
I've been doing it all wrong. I just let that baby sit for like 10 minutes.
Too long.
Too long. When I want fancy coffee, I just hear, hi, welcome to Dunkin'. That's kind of what but
all right. We all have our coffee preferences. You go out there, a tall black coffee from Starbucks for 10. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Morning Edition. We will see you next time.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.